You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We do not have any new callers, but we have Kyle from Madison. What's going on?
What's up, Brian? It's Kyle from Madison. How are you, buddy? So, we're getting to the end of February here, and I just wanted, before we get to, free agency and the draft, which, hopefully are going to transform some things on this roster, but before that happens, I guess I just kind of wanted to call in and kind of take your temperature on where the squad is now. Because I'm actually a bit, how do I want to say this? I'm not sure. I've been reflecting a lot on the season. And as is very on brand for the Packers, we had some really nice, amazing moments. It seems like they always will pull a horseshoe out of their butt at some point and give you some major high points. Convince you maybe the Super Bowl's coming. This year was no different. They finally got me there, and then it all fell apart. But conversely, though, I'm looking at this team thinking, well, now how much of that success was the addition of Parsons,
Yeah.
And even with them, I'm glad Hafley got a job and everything. And, I know he didn't have much to work with on the defensive side of the ball towards the end of the season. But, I don't know. I'm just kind of going through the games. And, he had some howler games, too. I mean, that Cowboys game comes to mind. You've given up 40 points to those guys. I know it's a good offense. Either way, I'm just wondering, what do we have as a roster here, And what would we have been last year? Because to me, it feels like we're like a 6-win team. We didn't have Parsons last year. And I don't know, but, hopefully we're going to have him again, so that's kind of not important. But what is there still? You know what I mean? I don't know, I got this idea. I don't know if Dallas is going to release Clark, but I was just looking at their situation financially, and it seems like there's a pretty decent chance they might, which first of all is hilarious, but with all the lip service Jerry Jones gave to getting Kenny Clark, if they release him, I'm going to laugh. But I wonder if Clark wouldn't be up for coming back for a year or two. At his original contract, I wouldn't love that, but if he wants to come back and chase a ring and then retire a Packer, sign me up for that. We could use him. But I don't know. I think we've got a good core. They need to execute. We need to stay healthy. But I'm conflicted as far as what is the state of the Packers going into this important time of year. And I'm just wondering how much transformation are they going to be able to do, in March and April of this year. We've got a lot of needs. I know everybody does, but I'm excited about the Packers, but I'm also I don't know, man. I want to get your thoughts on it. Peace.
First of all, exactly 3 minutes. Well done. Also, the timing of your call is kind of perfect because I don't want to say it, broke me. I don't want to be dramatic here. And I've been sort of annoyed by certain things, concerned maybe would be another word. I feel, I think, insecure more so than I have in the past. I mean, there have obviously been issues, when we 18, when everything felt like it was falling apart, and it was like, oh, well, now we're in trouble. But even then, it was like, well, we got a new, there's a chance. We got to nail this coach and GM thing, and obviously it went well for a period of time. Now we're in a situation where I don't feel, I'm really starting to lack confidence. I'm trying not to be, doom or gloom. I'm trying not to be, emotional and things. I don't know things, but Every time information comes out, it all just points in the same frickin' direction, and I just don't like it. Obviously, I was of the opinion that we should move on from LaFleur. We didn't. Okay, I get that. He's a good play caller, blah, blah, blah. And then, you look at I feel like the more you look at the GMing not through rose-colored glasses, man, it just, like you said with Micah Parsons, part of the issue in general, and I know I've said this before, but it feels like we're a team building through free agency right now, which is what garbage teams do. Terrible teams do that because they can't draft. And I don't necessarily think that that's on purpose. It's just that if you look at where the talent has come from, it's Josh Jacobs, it's Micah Parsons, it's Xavier McKinney. These are all free agent acquisitions. The draft, I mean, the last real good pick we had, I don't freaking know. Trying to think, Edgerrin, I guess, but he, again, he kind of took a step back. That was going to be our big blue chipper. I was all right. We finally freaking got somebody, and now he went from like elite top 5 guy to like good. So, and then the grades come out, and I got to actually look at what they all said, but I saw little snippets here and there. Talk about that on tomorrow's podcast, but it doesn't sound good. There's a lot of complaining, and Matt LaFleur, I think, took the biggest dip as far as his grade. Not that he has the lowest grade, but the biggest drop. And I understand, if you have a bad season, it's going to look that way. When you're the most injured team in football, you're probably going to have a bad grade for your training staff and all that. I mean, I understand that plays a part in it. But again, it all just keeps pointing in a certain direction. It's like we don't have belief in our locker room. We don't have guys that respect their coach. We don't have, I don't feel like we're the kind of, it's not even like elite, like we're so good at everything. It's just, what is the word? Competent, well-run. The Packers have been that for a very long time now. They've just been they've got a great process, and they stick to it, and they do a good job. And whether they're a great team or not, they're a good team that does things the right way, and they're respectable. And I'm just worried we are very close to slipping into laughingstock territory. You look at some of the things, and it's just kind of like, are we kind of a joke now? And like you said, are we a Micah Parsons away from being a joke? I like our roster, but I just, more and more, I just trust less and less. Well, we need this. Well, why would I trust Gutekunst at this point to get that? We've needed offensive line for some time now. And then free agency, it's like, well, we need to upgrade the offensive line. Well, part of the problem is he's not willing to release guys that are massively overpaid on the offensive line right now. And so that's a hindrance for several reasons. Number one, we can't upgrade it because that job is being given to that person. But also it's a massive financial burden, which makes it harder to go get other people to fix other positions on the offensive line. We're also not going to upgrade the right guard spot because that's being given to a second-round pick. So that will remain the same. I mean, again, hopefully he improves, but again, why would I expect that? None of the picks seem to be improving. None of the coaches seem to be improving anybody. I mean, I'm obviously hopeful and I'm open to it, but I mean, if we're just using the past as an indicator of what we think will happen, what in the hell would give me any reason to believe that anything's going to get better? People there's no develop in this team. There's no draft in this team. There's been some big swings in free agency and then crashes in the playoffs because of a complete lack of motivation. And no, it's not because they're young. I don't need to have all the answers to know there's a lot of broken stuff, and we've done nothing to fix anything. I don't want to become a team where all the guys that are in the locker room are just kind of going through the motions, and it's becoming kind of a joke, and it's just it's like the Browns where you're here to collect a check, and it's not a place that you come because you're proud, and LaFleur is not a guy that you play for because you respect him. And to be clear, there's a big difference between liking and respecting. I think he's a very well-liked person. And I also think, and maybe even that's the wrong way to put it, because I think there's probably a good level of respect as well in terms of respecting the work he's put in and respecting him as a man and as a father and as a whatever. But the leadership, is he a leader? And because he's liked and respected, everyone will say yes. But are they actually going to go to war for him? I don't know. I mean, again, talk. Let me see some actions. Let me see it on a football field. Otherwise, I don't want to freaking hear it. I don't give a damn what you say at a press conference. Oh, yeah, all that noise out there. People don't know what they're talking about. We all love it. Great, cool. When are you going to put that on a football field? Because otherwise, you're just flapping your freaking mouth around. You got your quarterback getting his head bashed in. Nobody seems to care. What's up with that? I hate to victim blame, but it's like, is Jordan not a guy that you... I mean, I know if that was a good friend of mine, I'd frickin' kill him. This is your quarterback. This is one of your best friends, and you watch a guy just assault him and slam his head into the ground, and you don't care. You don't do anything about it. How does that not just enrage? How do you not go kill that guy? Do you not like Jordan Love? What's the problem? What the hell is the problem here? It's just everything has felt so lethargic. You know, I mean, I know it feels bad because it's on a 5-game losing streak, but I'm trying really hard not to overreact. But at the same time, the more I look at it, I feel like I think I'm underreacting. I'm so worried about emotionally reacting that it's like if I wasn't a Packer fan and I was looking at this team as though it were the frickin', I don't know, the Chargers, or just some other AFC team just floating around over there that I had no ties to, or I didn't care one way or another whether they were good or bad. What would I be saying? I'd be saying a lot of different things than probably what I'm saying. And the unfortunate thing is I feel the instinct to say, well, I guess we'll have to sit back and wait and see, and you're just going to have to prove it to me, which is true. The problem is that's like the same thing I was saying last year. You know, we're going to need, this is a big year for Gutekunst. He's going to need to prove it. We're going to need to see something from these draft picks. They're going to have to step up, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, Bullard did improve, so that's good. But basically nobody else did, and our entire rookie draft class did nothing for us. So he failed then, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. If he completely knocks it out of the park in 2026, it's a great draft class, and boom, Jordan Morgan is a great left tackle. You know, I think Gutekunst bought himself some time with Jordan Love becoming a great quarterback, for sure. And I said that. That's the biggest assessment, because that draft class in itself was bad. But not only did he nail that class, but I mean, bro, you found us a franchise quarterback. Hats off, you're awesome. But how many more years of like, well, that sucked. Well, that sucked. Well, we're getting worse again. Now we have more problems to fix. Well, how about a big free agent acquisition? Like, that's great. That's great. But now we have 2 less picks, so we're building less through the draft, and we have less money, and it's great. I'm not regretting it at all. I'm happy he's here. Don't get me wrong about that. But if this is all we're able to do is go pay people that are very obviously hits, that are just guys that can't miss, and everything else that can miss does miss, boy, we got a problem. So, you know, there's not much I can do, but I am freaking fed up with the lip service at this point, and we need to see results. We have to see results. I'm not sitting here talking about, well, I want to see Super Bowls. I have to win a Super Bowl. You're out. It's not about that. It's about setting the same expectation that you would have for any other team. It's the same thing that I've been saying about everybody else. You have to at least be beyond replacement rate. You have to be adding more talent than we're losing. That's baseline minimum. You have to have somebody hit in your freaking draft class. We have to have some improvement on it from a coaching standpoint. Is anybody coaching? Do we always have to have the worst special teams and the worst special teams coach and the worst training staff and the worst motivation and now a terrible offensive line with no assistant coach? I've never liked a freaking assistant coach we've ever had aside from Stenovich on the offensive line, and then we moved him to a position that I don't even know that he's qualified for and took him away for another position that he was great at, and so now we have nobody at any position that I freaking like. We had one good linebacker coach. He made our linebackers look good. He got hired away. We freaking can't have anything nice ever for more than like 5 seconds. And then when something's wrong, we don't fix it. It's not, you know what? I want another one of those guys. Let's go find another Campanile. It's just, okay, he's gone. Let's just, do a little hire or a little promotion or whatever. And, well, he's not very good. He's not Campanile, but it's fine. No, it's not. The best of the best of the best of the best. That's it. Find the best. And if they're not the best, and somebody else is the best, get rid of them. Go get the best. I'm tired of this. Sorry, I'm taking up all of your guys' time. I should have saved this for tomorrow, but it was just on my mind today when I saw those grades, and I've been freaking spiraling here, and you just kind of set me off in a direction, so I apologize. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Hey, 1265 fan.
Hello.
Okay. So I'm listening to your recent podcast, your regular one.
Okay.
And you're talking about the season ticket holders and if you sell tickets, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree probably 90% of what you say.
All right.
What I don't agree with, if they were to go down this route, which I highly doubt they will, what I don't agree with your statement is about IDing people, and if the person that doesn't own those seats aren't who come through the gates, that's wrong. Because I have family that are heavy Packer fans that use my tickets all the time. We're family. I should have the right to let my family go to a Packer game. So no, you're not checking IDs. That's ridiculous. That's really ridiculous. They can do more than enough by looking at the open market. That's where these tickets are being sold. It's not individuals calling up a buddy from the other state, from the team from the other state, saying, hey, you want to come watch a game and root against the Packers? That's not how it works. People who have season tickets, they're either selling them to friends and family who are also Packer fans, or if they can't find somebody, they're going on the open market. Or number three, they just want to make money. Those are the people that need to be taken away. And I agree with that 100%. And you can find those people just by looking at open market sales. It's that simple. Okay? So I sold on the open market once, and it was last year, and it was 2 out of my 4 seats. Once in 25 years, I have put 2 tickets on the market. So no, I would not expect to get those tickets taken away. Once in 25 years. Okay? So let's just slow the roll a little bit. The people that we want out are the people that sell all the time on the market. The ones that are out making money. Because those are the people who have tickets out there all the time that other teams' fans are buying up. Okay? So let's not go through this ID thing. That really struck me in a wrong way. All right? All right? Not yelling. Just my opinion. Okay. Oh, and by the way, if that were the case, that means I couldn't sell my tickets to Packernet fans, okay? To people who are Packernet people, Packer fans. All right. Bye.
Yeah, I that was more so about trying to identify them, but I mean that's a fair enough point that you can just find because it's assigned seating. So I guess you can just go on there and say, okay, that's Jim's seats right there. It's being sold on the market. So I don't super care about that aspect of it. It's just about making sure that there's no who's doing it, I guess was my biggest thing. But yeah, I don't really care the process. Packers will just have to be more diligent in getting that information. I don't know. I haven't gone through the process of trying to find the horrible people out there that are doing this. So I haven't really thought too much about what that would all entail. But I guess that's a fair enough point that, you know, if you can see section whatever seat such and such, it's like, okay, those are those seats. And so you can just kind of flag it like, okay, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and you can kind of just see same person every time, same seats. They're not using these seats. They're selling these seats in the market. And yeah, and I like I said, I don't. I would probably be a lot more strict than you would. Certainly wouldn't be just if you sell it one time. I get it. Things happen, but there would be some kind of a limit, like an annual limit. Like you can sell. I don't know how many. How many do you get? So you get 2 seats, occasionally 4 seats. Let's just call it 2 So what, green package is like 16 seats or 16 tickets? I don't know. I don't want to see more than 5 on there. 10, I don't know. I don't know the number. It's more than 1 and 2. You know what I mean? If you want to go to like a game a year and you're going to sell the rest, you can just purchase a ticket once a year. You don't need season tickets. If I'm giving you 16 tickets, you had better be going to quite a few games or giving them to friends or whatever the case may be. And yes, it would be possible to still screw people over by selling to Bears fans or scalping or whatever loopholes if you really were desperate for doing that, but whatever. We'll leave that alone. I don't know. Maybe that's a good question. What would you put the limit at? I know for a fact if you're selling half or more, I would take your tickets away. Beyond that, I'm not sure what the number would be.
Hey, I just really thinking about this season, and I wish somehow, some way, like, I could be in the room to, like, this is, like, the expectation I expect from you guys. Because I'd get up there and it's like, all right, we're not satisfied with, like, 25 points a game. Like, if we're up, like, 10, 15 points on somebody and we got 25, that's not good enough. Our goal is to put up 35, 40 points every game. And our goal is to hold everybody to 10 points or fewer every game. And even if we are multiple scores up, I want to bury everybody to leave no doubt.
Yeah.
It's none of this like, oh, you know, we're winning up, we're up in the third, let's go into the game and just not show up for the third quarter. Like, none of that. Like, I just want to bury people because this team can do that. Like, you see, like, the quality of play, like in stretches, it's just so inconsistent. It's like, oh, I'm so good, and then you just like, oh, I can't do anything, I suck now. It's like all of a sudden it's just like a switch flips, and these guys go from being dominant to just being they can't do anything. So no more of it. Like, I wish like somehow, some way we could just get in their ears and be like, you don't let up. Like, I know that everybody talks all gas, no brake. It's like, I've never seen it in Green Bay. I've never seen it. I want 40 points a game, and I want 10 points on defense, and I won't be satisfied until I see that, because we are that good. We need to act like it. We need to play like it. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you asked them, they would say, well, yeah, of course we're trying, but I do think there is an element of strategery, right? This is kind of like, everybody wants to be aggressive on defense, but it's like, well, it's what we ultimately want is to win, and this is how we think is the best way to win, whatever. I number one would guess that Matt LaFleur does lean into the strategy thing, and I do think he takes his foot off the gas. I don't know that. But I think he's trying to be strategic in a lot of ways. I think that he feels, he kind of changes gears a little bit once, if you're up or whatever the case may be. And given that, I think that is a failed strategy today. I think there was a point in time where that did actually make sense. I think NFL teams score so fast now. Games change so fast now. And we've seen it, and the Bears were the kings of that this year, of just suddenly we're winning. And we've just seen so many freaking examples of teams coming back. Just in the last 5 years, these unprecedented, just shocking comebacks that we just have to get that out of our head. I don't really care. That there has to be some kind of a metric as far as you need to assume that a team can score X amount in Y amount of time, right? A team can score 14 points in 4 minutes or something. You know what I mean? Like 7 points every 2 minutes. That is the thing. So if there's 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter and you're up by 20, okay, you are not out of the danger zone. You do not take your foot off the gas until you're out of the danger zone, right? That's the thing. Because 7 times 5, 35 points? Unless you have a 35-point lead, with 10 minutes left, and even if you did, you're playing for a tie at that point. Go kick a field goal, and then you could take your foot off the gas. You know what I mean? I understand you probably should never take your foot off the gas, but at least in terms of, like, if you want to be strategic, I understand that. That's fine. But we need to update our thinking on this, because I think we really feel that we're winning a lot more than we actually are. We need to think about it more like basketball. You know what I mean? Like 10 minutes left in a basketball game and you're up by 10. Do you take your foot off the gas? Bro, are you kidding me? That 10 points doesn't mean anything. What are you, stupid? We really have to start changing the way we think about football, or at least Matt LaFleur does, I think. Because again, I will be okay generally with that the strategy or the idea behind playing to win. I get playing to win. I'll grant you that. The problem is you're almost never going to be winning by enough for that to be like an actual real thing. If you, so for example, and even that is I don't think that's enough, because if you're up by 7 with a minute 30 left, do you feel good? No, you don't feel good. Bro, if there's a minute 30 left and you're up by 14, I don't know. Crazy stuff happens, dude. You keep it going. You know, like I don't know, man.
Yo, it's Jared, the Uber driver from Texas. So I typically listen on Spotify, and I noticed that I'm still catching up, actually. I mean, I'm almost caught up. I'm on, I think, Sunday now. And it said you posted Monday once on Spotify. But then I went to Amazon Music, and I saw that there were posts yesterday and today. So, like,
that's annoying.
Just clarifying that maybe some of the Spotify listeners might not see any podcasts, or it could just be my own Spotify. Who knows? Because this did happen earlier this year, and I might have unfortunately missed that podcast. But, you know, such is life, I guess.
It does happen.
I'll try and find that one too. But anyways, that's all I got to say. Go Packer.
Well, I appreciate you letting me know. You know, those things do tend to happen, unfortunately. I don't really know why. I think, you know, podcasting has just always been kind of terrible as far as, you know, there's been no advancements in technology. Like, it's just been kind of this low level thing that just kind of sits there. I don't know if it's just because they make no money, so they're like, I don't know, freaking whatever. But it's just kind of bad. And I did actually notice, I think it was Bukowski maybe who had said something about, you know, there was issues with Spotify and people not getting a show, which seems to happen all the time. I don't really know why. And, you know, I at times will tell you guys, you know, either let me know or, you know, go look around. But, you know, there's so many shows now. And, you know, some days like today there's no, or yesterday, no draft episode just because of the weird schedule of everything. And I said, just forget it. We'll just do combine news tomorrow. But, you know, again, it's just kind of, I can't really expect you guys to be chasing around every single time there's a missing episode or whatever. So I guess you just assume that I didn't do one, and I freaking did, and it's just not there. And I don't know that one's better than the other. I don't know if you know, I have had a lot of issues with Spotify, but I know at one point I was telling everybody to go to Spotify because I think Apple was having more issues. And so it is aggravating for sure. You know, and I can sometimes see it in the numbers where it's like, oh, what happened? Did everybody hate that show, or what the heck's going on? And it was probably that. It was probably just the stupid, you know, everybody looked and thought, I guess you didn't do a podcast today. So it's frustrating, you know, a lot of work goes into this stuff just for something like that to basically mean I didn't do a podcast. But I'll just keep cranking them out, and you guys just keep listening whenever you can see them, as much as you possibly can. Like I said, if you guys can set it to auto download, so if there is a podcast, then it'll come right to your phone, and it'll show up on my thing. So that'll kind of help me out. Or, you know, Patreon to support, even $1 a month is definitely beneficial if you can do that. But such is life, I guess. Uncle Rico.
Yo, Brian, it's your Uncle Rico.
What's up, dude?
The official jag-off of Packernet podcasting, Uncle Rico. Anyways, I was thinking, here's how dumb the Bears are. Okay, so I'm pretty certain the Bears are never leaving Illinois.
Probably.
It's possible, of course. Or the Chicagoland area,
sure.
Be it Gary or Hammond. I doubt if that's even going to happen, but that's just my thought. But here's how dumb they are. They're trying to leverage the city of Chicago or the state of Illinois or whoever by teasing the shit out of Illinois or Indiana, you know. It's like getting the whole state fired up and the legislature and whoever's throwing money at them to come to Indiana. And they're so stupid because they're still basically in Chicago, so why not, right? What does Chicago care? They're still right there. It's like having, you know, this girl who lives with you in your house.
Careful, please.
Say, I'm gonna move across the street or across the hall, but I'm still gonna, you know, be there for you. For, you know, the things you need, but I'm just not going to live with you. So, like, all right, that's awesome. I don't have to pay for you, but I still get to enjoy you type of thing. So why don't, if they had a half a brain, they'd be like, they'd put up a real threat, like, we're moving to, I don't know, somewhere that is not near Chicago, Tucson, or somewhere that, you know, that could be a real thing, like, somebody who might really want an NFL team, which I don't know where that is, but you know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, then the Bears are not going to be around anymore, so we better do something about it. But why would you do anything about it when they're not even leaving?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, anyways, that is my thought. All right, then. Rico out. Y'all have a good day.
Well, it was funny in a very pathetic way. I saw again the like identical announcement, something about you know, all the legislature got together and the Bears they're gonna work on the language and all this stuff, and I'm like, am I having deja vu? I just saw this. We just saw this not too long ago that this was going to happen, and I was like, oh well, it was funny while it lasted. Oh, you know, I guess they're gonna stay, and then the Bears. Where I think the legislature canceled it, and the Bears put out a thing about like, oh, we're excited about Indiana. Like, wait, what happened? So I don't know what's going on. I know Bears, you know, they'll probably end up in whatever it is, Hoffman Estates or not that, whatever the stupid town is. And then Bears fans will do a victory lap as though they won something, and it's like, you're not the freaking Chicago Bears, dude. I don't know how much clearer I can make this to you. I'm still going to make fun of you. But anyways, I again, as long as they don't go to Chicago, I will make fun of them real hard. So that's all I really care about. And, you know, they can't, the biggest thing is they can't do what they've always done. Their number one go-to thing is to talk about how Packer fans are this uncultured group of people, and they don't, you know, I don't know, they don't have a big city, and they don't have all the fancy, fun things. Neither do you anymore, so you can't say that crap anymore. Now, it's not as good as Hammond, because Hammond is just a giant smokestack compared to just a boring suburb, but, you know, whatever, it's fine. We'll make it work. We'll learn more about that city and its idiosyncrasies. I don't know why I chose to go with that, but we'll learn about it and what makes it stupid, and, you know, we'll go from there.
Yo, Ryan, it's your Uncle Rico.
Yo.
I just listened to the pod,
there, and
it was recommended that you get a press pass, and you said you would probably not pursue that because you wouldn't know what questions to ask, and I agree, because you wouldn't ask. You're not stupid enough to ask the questions they ask. And then
I was gonna say, like, bro, you just lie to me and be like, no, you'd be great at it.
They're never happy with the answers they get anyways. So I don't know why they ask the questions, and they're stupid questions. You'd ask questions like,
Coach, why did you guys suck ass today? And that'd be a legitimate question, possibly. And but we still wouldn't like the answer they gave anyway. So what's the point in asking the question? But anyways, yes, I'm just saying that, yeah, you wouldn't be dumb enough to ask the questions that those guys come up with. They're people, not all guys. They come up with some pretty stupid questions that, why did we win the game? Oh, that do I have to spell out to you about? Did you watch the game? Then you know why we didn't win the game. What are you, stupid? Anyways, all right then. Rico out.
There are moments of brilliance, I will say, from the media where they're able to get an answer from a very well-crafted question. But that's interspersed throughout a whole lot of just, like it's kind of like when you got homework due and you got to put something on the paper. You know what I mean? Like, you got to ask something. And if you can't think of anything, which is probably, again, this is why I would be bad at it, because I'd be like, I don't know what to ask. So I would just ask some stupid crap. You're wrong. I would probably ask some stupid crap, because it's like, bro, I got to ask something and I don't know what to ask. That and or the way you described it would probably be true, where it would just be really uncomfortable and awkward, and the coach and everybody would really just not like me, and the media people would be like, this guy's a freaking jagoff. Because I would just get argumentative. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell was that? And then they would give him some bullcrap, but like, no, but why? Like, I don't like, talk to me like I'm stupid. I don't understand why that happened. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. It wouldn't be great. Oh, a little band. Look at a little band of jagoffs over there. I see you coming over here. Come on to my base. See what happens, boy. I got booby traps galore. Let's go. Grab your gun. Come on, stupid. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Hey, Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny. Just thinking about the draft. I wonder if we should draft a kicker.
Okay.
Because, well, one, I don't know if that's necessary, because you would draft him ideally in the 7th round. But like, would that be a waste of a pick with who we got out there for choices of kickers? Because what I'm thinking about is Brandon McManus. I mean, I don't know how much longer we're gonna. He's fine. Had a career worst year last year, or whatever you want to say. He was pretty bad, but you wonder how much longer they're gonna keep him. And we got to have something in place for the future. And maybe this is not the year to do it. Again, I haven't looked much into the kicker. I've looked into the stats. There's some pretty good kickers.
Sure.
I just don't know if you have an NFL caliber one. And a lot of these guys, you'd probably just draft some undrafted free agent. And one, you'd save money, I guess. And two, I guess you don't really waste that pick on a kicker when we could have, got like another corner or something to try out or whatever for depth. But I just wonder maybe if that would be a good idea, or we wait till a year or two from now. Sorry, yawning here.
You're good.
I was looking at it like the Drew Stevens from Iowa seems pretty good. Kicker from Michigan. I can't think of any other ones. There's some decent kickers out there. I just don't know. I don't know in terms of because in college it seems like a lot of times you get to 30-yard line or whatever, and they just kind of tend to go for it. So these kickers don't really have that experience of kicking longer kicks, And so I don't know, man. It's quite a debate. But let me know what you think. Packernet, let me know what you think too. And yeah, man, go back go.
Yeah, it's tough because a lot of the is that a clock? A lot of the good kickers do end up being UDFAs, which is why a lot of people don't want you to draft kickers or whatever. But it's hard to judge. Everybody says, "Oh, quarterback is the hardest position." No, it's not. That's a freaking lie. It's an absolute lie. The hardest positions are the ones that you don't know. You don't know what to do. It's the ones where there's a high hit rate for UDFAs. Quarterback is the position that all the best ones are first round picks. So it sounds like you guys really kind of have that one figured out, actually. But it's tough, and I'm all for the competition. The only thing I have against drafting in particular is the fact that if you draft a guy, I think you kind of have to be committed to that guy. It's going to be hard to draft and be like, no, actually McManus is fine. So that would be my. I mean, it would essentially mean McManus is gone, which I know a lot of people are fine with. Again, I'm not. I would rather not go that direction, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, again, I'm in a vulnerable place right now, and I'm open to whatever. But you just better be right, man. You just better friggin' get it right. That's all I can say. We did take a break, right? Yeah.
Ryan, how you doing? This
Good,
is
man.
Nico from Idaho. I'm just preparing for my work tonight, and all this off-season talk, has got me thinking. As far as the Olympics go, I used to love the Olympics.
Me too.
And it wasn't that I'm busier now, because especially when I was in college and working 60 hours a week and going to school and playing football and having kids. Well, I mean, I didn't have the kids, but paying for the kids, I did that. I still had time to watch the Olympics, and I was kind of wondering too, when 1265, not the second she fell, but lately I'm wondering if it's not that big of a deal. I don't know if it's because it's like the world seemed to be innocent-er. Is that a word? Like 30 years ago, when I was younger, and,
right.
And like I didn't hate every politician, and I didn't want to burn down Hollywood. And
Well, that was the other thing. Like I was a kid, so maybe things were political and I didn't realize it, but I don't think so. I mean, my parents never, not that I knew anything about their politics or anything. They were, they weren't vocal about it. But I mean, there was never like I'm not watching that because of this, that, or the other, which is kind of the thing with everything now. Whether you like something or not almost entirely has to do with the politics of it, because everything has a political bend to it somehow. But even beyond that, I mean, like I said, it used to just be a thing where everybody just watched, like everybody watched the same stuff. We all watched the frickin' Emmys or whatever the thing was where the frickin' movie stars win their awards and stuff. We all watched it. And they're cheesy, stupid jokes, and occasionally, like, there was a funny skit, and it was, you talk about it the next day and whatever. Everybody watched the Olympics because it was, I don't know, it was on. It was a thing that was on TV. It was a new yearly event, and it's a big deal. The Olympics are a big deal. But there's just so much frickin' crap now, and it is crap. But I'm so consumed by the crap that I guess it's not all crap. I mean, with the news and everything, I mean, NFL news, NFL draft news, as well as just like news, it's definitely too much. I have learned that it is too much, and I don't exactly know how to disconnect myself from it. But I always have my little X feed up here, where the pro.x.com, where I forget what they call it, your deck. But it's like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold up, I got to scroll over here. So I have football, news, AI, video games, and Christian. And these are all my feeds. And they just over and over and over. It's just stuff pumping out 24/7, nonstop. And then I have AI explain everything to me because I don't understand the news. I was late to my class today because I was so engrossed in trying to understand why Pakistan and the Taliban don't get along, and how that relates to ISIS, and how that relates to Iran and Saudi Arabia. And I'm like, wait, so what? And then this, and then, oh, okay. And then there's like a Taliban, but then there's like a Pakistani Taliban. and they're hiding out with the Taliban, but the Taliban says they're not hiding out there, but Pakistan's like, screw you, and so they bombed them, and now the Taliban's fighting with Pakistan, and they're really mad about it, and Iran's trying to actually be the peacekeepers, which is freaking hilarious, but it's a thing. And then ISIS is just like, screw all of you, you're all a bunch of sissies, and they just kill everybody because they hate everybody. It's hilarious that ISIS is like where Taliban people go when they feel like the Taliban is too soft. Like, it's crazy. And then I guess the Taliban basically runs Afghanistan, but most of the world doesn't acknowledge it, but that's basically what it is. They are the government of Afghanistan now. You know what I mean? So it's like there's all the news, and then I got to go down a rabbit hole between that and like insurance and like, wait, what? Because I don't know anything about insurance, so I'm just starting from zero. Like, so what is happening now? And I don't need to know. I mean, it's interesting, and I don't know. Somehow that ties into the freaking Olympics.
You know, I mean, there's, for obvious reasons, don't need to even mention why. There are, you know, it's hard to really like stuff when there's so much evil in the world that we now know about that maybe we didn't know about years ago. To get excited about the Olympics.
That's the other thing, and I need to shut up and let you guys just talk, but I'm starting to, and I know this isn't exactly what you're saying, I'm starting to hate the idea of the government just telling us everything. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like a really good idea at one point, where it's like, yeah, you guys are a bunch of liars and you hide everything, and you spy on me and you're stupid. And now that I see what stupid people do with that information, it's like, oh no. This is why we have government and court systems and things to prevent like lynch mobs and everything, because everybody's crazy and everybody's an idiot. Steve Smith, an accountant, sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein like, hey, I need your documents. And they're like, you were in the Epstein files. You need to be murdered. It's like, bro, I don't think that's how that works. You need to relax. Yeah, there's too much information and too many people that don't know what to do with that information. And I don't even know what to do with the information. But then I look at all the comments and I just get annoyed and I get angry because it's like, you're stupid. You're so stupid. Everybody's so dumb all the time. We're all dumb. We're too dumb to have all this information. I don't think the government does a good job with the information, but I think it's worse for all of us to just have the information and collectively just sit around and go, what should we do about this? What do you think we should do about this? You know, and when I shouldn't even. But when did we collectively decide that we all need all the information? I don't know when that happened. Like, wait a minute, why aren't you releasing all the, like, what release what? Since when does everything just get released to us all the time? When did that happen? And it's a disaster. I don't know. It's just, it's too freaking much. There's too much going on. There is a lot of bad, and the government has done a lot of bad. But then we find out about it, and then it just gets worse. And then we trust everything less, and we trust each other less. Plus, factor in how much we are misunderstanding what's happening and making it way worse than it actually is because our reading comprehension is dog crap. It's just a freaking mess. You know, it's a little bit of a mess. It's entertaining. It is. I'm digging it. I'm sitting back like, ooh, yeah, kidnapped a freaking Venezuelan guy. Like, freaking got him. And like things are blowing up and it's crazy. Like there's stuff going on every day and it's entertaining, but it's not, I don't think it's good entertainment. And I think it's poisoning my brain, maybe. I don't know. Not sure, but it feels like it. Yeah.
At least not excited about something I don't truly love, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, I stopped trying to be in Olympics because my wife still watches it as much as she can. Is that, you know, the Olympics used to be every 4 years, and it was like, there was like a gap. And then, it's been 4 years. But then I know some time ago they switched it to, you know, the Summer Olympics play, then 2 years later the Winter Olympics play, then. And so to me, it's, I don't know if
I wondered about that too. I was like, I thought that they were at like the same time. There was like the same year or something. I I guess I didn't know they switched it. I just remember acknowledging it and being like, this doesn't feel like how it used to be.
I'll be honest, I don't know if they still do that. But that seemed to be the time when I was like, okay, too much Olympic stuff. I can handle it every 4 years.
Yeah.
But not every it's like every year and a half. It's like, Olympics.
Yeah,
but
no good.
the reason I'm calling is because I just sent you a picture.
Stupid tangents.
Because all this talk about, the Indiana, the Gary Bears, the Indiana Bears, and I just had kind of an idea. We could make a parody poster of the Indiana Bears off the, Indiana Jones. Now, you have already seen the picture. If you say I can post it on the Facebook
yes,
page, I will.
you have my blessing.
It could be possibly my, I was called a poet by one person. I'm not really a poet. I used to write songs and stuff when I was younger, in poetry. But, when you get older and you have to work 90 hours a week, sometimes that kind of stuff goes away. 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I just wanted to, I was going to pull it up and then I was like, oh shoot, I don't want the freaking thing to stop playing your call. Indiana Bears and the Temple of the Painted Fingernails, starring Caleb Williams. It's probably an overplayed joke, but I'm going to just keep playing that freaking banjo, baby. I'm going to keep hammering that damn thing. When you got a thing like that, it's kind of, it's what the Bears do with like, oh, you're a bunch of rednecks, you're a bunch of racist rednecks, you're all just a bunch of racist rednecks up there in Green Bay, just a bunch of okay, cool, painted fingernails, dude's a little kind of lady-like, and he paints his fingernails because he's a little lady, and he paints his fingernails because he's kind of soft little girly boy, little Taiwanese lady boy, right? You know what I'm talking about? Painted nails, little boy. Just saying, I'm just going to keep frickin' hammering that over and over and over again. Because he did it to himself. What do you want me to say? I mean, he's the one that did it. He's just asking to be made fun of. So it's like, all right, it's kind of low-hanging fruit, but I'll do it. So it's like anything else on this show. I mean, people say stupid stuff. They want it to be clickbait. It's like, all right, I'll frickin' bite. I don't care. Anywho, I'm going to pack it in here, folks. We got 5 calls sitting there, so that's almost enough for tomorrow. 2 of them just came in very recently. Appreciate all of you guys getting your calls in. As much content as I can put out, the better. Like I said, I'm fighting as hard as I can to make sure we keep the numbers up through the offseason. I'm determined for this to not be, again, the NFL is a 12-month season, more or less. And so I want to encourage the fan base to hang out for 12 months, if at all possible. By the way, let me check the weather real quick. Supposedly tomorrow's supposed to be nice. Yes, 57 freaking degrees. I don't have my class. Not a cloud in the sky. Probably going to be windy because that's what happens when a big heat wave comes through, but I'll freaking deal with it. We're doing pork belly, boys and girls. We're doing it. And maybe I'll put together a little thing. I see, the problem is whenever I'm under pressure, I fail. Every time my in-laws come over, I feel like I make the worst food in the world, and I'm all excited when I get to cook for people because I'm like, bro, you don't even know how good it's going to be. And every time I've ever cooked for them, it's like, this sucks. And then I feel like it's like, they're oh, that was very good. Oh, you're so good. And it's like, no, you're lying because that sucked. That was this freaking worst thing I've ever made in my life. But we're gonna try it out. I've been waiting for nice weather. Like I said, we did chicken thighs the other day. It was freaking awesome. I am pumped up. It's immediately dropping to 27 degrees on Saturday, and it might snow, which is just hell. But we got 50s, so I'm gonna hammer some pork belly. We're putting it on the smoker, boys and girls. We're gonna get those things freaking tenderoni. We're gonna have ourselves a day. All right, if you guys have any, we got to get some serious football stuff going on here as far as recipes and everything else going. Something else I'll just build since websites can be, put up in like 5 seconds. We'll have like a Packernet After Dark little recipe book. You guys get your stuff in. Just start slamming it together. But if I do it, I'll definitely at least send it over on Patreon. Probably post some stuff on social media as well. See if I can have my kids do some photography. But hopefully you guys are going to enjoy some nice weather too if you're in and around my area, or hopefully the heat wave is either passing through or will be your way soon. and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Silence through the dark, yeah. Strike the match, watch the charcoal catch a spark. Pork belly on the board, cue precise. Every cut the same, I don't measure twice. Brown sugar, paprika, black pepper coat. Garlic on the edges, let the dry rub soak. Load the oak, seal the chamber, lock it down. 250 degrees, no one makes a sound. Smoke curling through the vent like a signal. Every minute counts now, no mistakes, no shortcuts. The mission is the meat. This is the operation, low and slow. Calculated patience, watch the bark just grow. No one sees me working through the haze and heat, but when the smoke clears, the mission's complete. Muted brass stab. 3 hours deep, the edges start to crust. Rendered fat and seasoning, building trust. Now the foil boat, butter, honey, brown sugar bag. Seal it tight, this the classified path. 1 hour braising, let the juices merge. Pull it out, dripping on the final surge. Sauce applied back on the grate for char. 50 minutes left, you know who we are. Listen carefully. Amateurs rush the process, they crank the heat, they peek the lid, they panic, but this is precision. Oak smoke at 250 for 3 hours, braised in butter for 1, sauced and finished for 15 minutes. That's the protocol, and the protocol does not fail. This is the operation, low and slow. Calculated patience, watch the bark just grow. They'll never know the hours in the smoke and steam, but one bite in the shaking, burned in supreme. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.